Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be doing my November wrap up. I'm filming this on December 1st. I think I read 10 or 11 books this month. I think it's 11 maybe, I don't really remember. But I read some really good books, not as much as last month, but I'm kind of okay with it. For Thanksgiving, I think I already mentioned this in a video, but we hosted Thanksgiving in St. Louis this year. Usually me and my family, we go to Georgia because that's where my aunt and uncle live and their kids, and we can stay in their house. But this year we had everybody come here to St. Louis. So I took off a week for Thanksgiving and I kind of got in a little reading rut. I just was kind of like, I don't feel like reading right now, but I read some really good books this month, and so I'm super excited to share them with you. So the first one is The Marquess Makes His Move by Dana Quincy. I read this for a reading blog, a historical romance reading blog, so I'm going to link that down below, but I gave this one 5 stars. So good. It's basically our heroine is married to a map maker, and she is a map maker also, but she is secretly making all the maps for her husband, and he's taking the credit for it. And so the hero is pretending to be a manservant in their house because he was cheated out of land, because he got a map from her husband, and her husband cheated him out of his land. And so he's trying to like get information on them and stuff, and they end up having a romance, and it is really good. If you want to hear more of my thoughts, go watch the vlog down below. I go in a lot of detail about this book, and this book was so good. I go in a lot of detail about this book, and I kind of talk about all of it, so definitely go check that video out if you want to hear more of my thoughts. The next book I read was Olivia and the Masked Duke by Grace Calloway. This is another historical romance, and I absolutely love this one. It's an indie historical romance. It's a little bit more spicy. So our heroine has always kind of been infatuated with the hero ever since she was younger. He saved her when she like fell from a tree, and they kind of started this connection. He's always been like kind of a big brotherly feel to her, but not like a brother, like she has a crush on him. And so one night she finally like goes for it with him, like kisses him, and he's like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, we can't do this, it's forbidden, all this stuff. And she's like so heartbroken. And so she was supposed to go back to Scotland with her parents where she stays, but she decided to stay in London because she got an offer from this woman to kind of work in this like team where they are a team of spies, and they get information on people and kind of like outs them and help other women find out information about their spouses and whatever. And so she joins this team of spies, and she can't tell the hero anything, and he kind of wants to actually give it a shot with her, but he can't stand lying, and she has to lie to him. So it's very angsty and delicious and so good. Definitely go check out the vlog if you want to hear more of my thoughts. I gave this one 5 stars. It was amazing. The next book I want to talk about is The Bride Goes Rogue by Joanna Shupe. This one was amazing. Another book in the vlog. It is so good. It is a it's set in New York in the Gilded Age, and it is hate to love. And so our heroine, she was supposed to marry the hero, and she has waited like a year to marry him. And so when she finally like confronts him, like, when are we gonna get married, he's like, I never agreed to marrying you. So she is so angry at him because she's basically wasted a year of her life waiting for him to get married or like come to her and, you know, figure it out. And so she is so mad. And she goes to this like fancy ball where they're all masked, and she meets this guy and kind of has a one night with him, and she finds out that it is the hero, and they like hate each other, and he absolutely hates her father for like some reason with his family. Something happened, and it was just so good. It's very spicy, angsty, hate to love. I really love this one. Gave this one 5 stars. The next one I read was The Devil's Own Duke by Lenora Bell. This one is so good. So our heroine, I think she owns a vineyard, and her father is a duke, and her mother died, and so she's trying to get her father to marry somebody else so that like they can keep the dukedom and he can have an heir, because she's a woman, she can't be his heir, and like find somebody out. And so this guy comes in the picture, which is actually our hero, and he's claiming to be this long lost cousin, because they thought they had no other heir for the dukedom, and they find out it's him. Supposedly, we don't know if that's true or not, and he is like a known scoundrel and like lies a lot and all this stuff, and so she absolutely detests him, hates him, and thinks that he is just trying to get money from her family, like he's not actually the long lost heir. And so they have a hate to love romance, marriage of convenience. They decide that they have to get married because she knows he's gonna win anyway. So she's like, well, let me get something out of it. Let me prove to him my vineyards are worth something, because he thinks they're just like dumb and don't make any profit. And it was really good. It was very wholesome. He really falls hard for her and really is protective over her, and I really like this book. I really love Lenore Bell's writing. I give this one 5 stars. Definitely go check it out. The next book I read was What Was Meant to Be by QB Tyler. I almost forgot the title. This is a forbidden age gap, dad's best friend romance, and so our heroine and hero had a romance, and he is significantly older than her, but then they broke up, and now she is engaged to somebody else, and he is coming back into the picture, and he's like, well, you can't marry somebody else, I still love you, and she's like, well, you had your chance. So it's very angsty. There's cheating involved in this one, but I just loved it. It was so good, and the groveling he had to do to get her back was just amazing. I really love this book. Very spicy, and it was just such a fun read. Of course, there's going to be drama in this one, and I just really enjoyed it. The next one I read was Wrecked Palace by Catherine Cowles. This is one of my new favorites from Catherine Cowles. It was so good. So it's a single parent romance. Our heroine, she had to take custody of her 3 siblings because her parents are both drug addicts, and her mom's in prison, but her dad is like still on the run, and so she took over custody over her siblings, and so she's been taking care of them ever since she was 21, and every week this really grumpy guy comes into her, like the place that she works at. I think it's like a general store kind of thing, but there's like food, and she's a really good cook, but she really needs some money really badly, so he's like, well, let me give you a job of being my private chef. And he doesn't really need her to do that, but he just really likes her and wants to help her, and he's very sweet. Everybody views him as like the black sheep of the town, and so she starts working for him and getting to know him, and he's getting to know her siblings, and it is just so adorable. They both have a lot of feelings for each other, and it is just so cute. There's some suspense in here with her father, and trying to figure out like where he is, and her mother and all that stuff. It's very suspenseful, of course, for a Catherine Cowles book, but I just love this one. I give this one 5 stars. Definitely go check this series out. It is so good. The next book I read was one of my most anticipated reads, and that's Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is a second chance marriage in trouble / divorced couple, with kids, romance. It is super emotional, longing. I just wanted to throw this book across the room because I was so frustrated at her characters. Like, I knew what they were feeling, but I just wanted them to be together so badly, and I just love how Kennedy Ryan can like pull that emotion from her readers, and you just feel so many emotions in this book. I do think it was very emotional, but I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't as hard for me to read as other books by her, like Long Shot was really hard for me to read, but this one is just so good. I just love this book, and so our heroine and hero, they are divorced. They've been divorced for about 2 years, and one of them starts dating, and the other one starts getting jealous and realizing that they still have feelings for the other person, but they have a lot of things they need to work out between each other. And that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil anything. Trigger warning for loss of a child. And I just love this book, and I think everybody should read it if they feel comfortable with the topics discussed in this book. But I just love this one. There's no cheating involved in this one. Yes, there's no cheating. but definitely go check it out. 5 stars, so good. The next one I read is Focused by Carla Sorensen. I listened to this on audio. So this one is a hate to love kind of office romance. So our heroine, she is working for, I think it, oh gosh, I can't remember what sport it is. It might be football. I think it's football. And she had this horrible crush on this guy, which is actually the hero from years ago and like her childhood, and he comes back into the picture and he's like the new player on the team, and she finds out she has to work with him for this like documentary that they're filming about the different players, and he's kind of like the key focus, and she has to work one-on-one with him, and she is just so annoyed with him and feels so embarrassed about what happened when they were younger, and it was just really good. He's very grumpy. See, she is sunshine, and it's kind of a fun concept with the documentary thing. Like, she has to help him with a lot of things because he's very grumpy and doesn't want to open up, and she gets him to open up, and it's just so wholesome. And this is the first book in the series. I really enjoyed it. I give it 5 stars. Definitely go check this series out. I think it's called the Ward Sisters series, if I remember. I read the 4th book a couple months ago and really enjoyed it. The next book I read was Ivan by Sophie Lark. Oh my gosh, this one was so good and such a cool concept. So our heroine is I think she's an assassin, kind of, and basically her job is to go in and kill people. She gets hits, and she was like the hit person, and so she gets a hit on this guy named Ivan, which is the hero, and she knows that he is very top-notch, like super hard to get to, and so she ends up like trying to kill him, and he like wakes up and finds her, and so it's their romance. He kind of like keeps her captive, and it's really good. Not for long. She is very smart, Sloane, our heroine, like super duper smart, and like kind of outsmarts Ivan when he is known as like one of the biggest, baddest like Bratva people, and it is just so good. And they have to work together because they have to find out who put the hit out on Ivan. And I just really enjoyed this one. So excited to continue on with this series, and I can't wait for like the new covers to come. I like these covers, but I'm excited to see the alternate covers. And the last book I read was The Devil of Dublin by B.B. Easton, and I just really love this book. It was so interesting. So our heroine and hero have known each other for years. They were best friends when they were growing up, and she actually lives in America, and she would visit Ireland every, I think, summer to visit her grandparents, and they kind of like formed this friendship, and he was a little bit older than her, but he had a ton of demons that he was going through, and she was kind of only his light in his dark times. So fast forward to years later, and she is engaged to somebody else. She is coming back into town to put her grandfather to rest, and she sees him again. So this is a dark romance. It's very good. I don't want to say anything else because it's such an insane ride of emotions and like crazy things that are happening. So yeah, it's really good. I absolutely love this book. Give it 5 stars. I loved the like not fantasy aspect, but like mystical aspect, because they, in the lore of Ireland, the author added some stuff in there which I thought was really interesting, about like the lake near them and how it has magical powers, but there's no magic in here. It's just more of like a lore, and I just really liked this one. It was so good. Great way to end the month, and it was just so good. That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a great November. I'm super excited for December and to read some really good books, hopefully in December, to finish my year out with a bang. I am super excited. Down below, let me know what your favorite book of the month was. I think mine was probably Before I Let Go or Devil of Dublin. I really like those two. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon.